I got this just about. I'm doing good. I think I got this new toy got going. Hey, Brandon, I want to show you something.
Yes.
Smile. You're on camera.
What is that? What's that for?
That's from the school project.
Nice, it's nice.
Just to make my thesis out of it or something. Not sure what to do with it.
Okay.
I should have you compose something for it.
I'd love to collaborate.
That'd be great.
Get the handsome one.
Yeah, that'd be great.
She wants us to drink.
Yes, I do. You got champagne? You know what? Better make it a whiskey. That'd be better. It's better for the costume party, you know?
There we
Get
go.
things
Getting
going.
the spirit early.
Yeah. I like what you're doing with the place. Got some new paintings and
Yeah,
stuff.
get all that furniture. It cost me a lot of money.
Ooh, what a cool phone. How about you, Brandon? How are you doing?
Pretty well.
Can't wait for other people to show up. Yeah, keep doing that. I like that. I think I'm gonna coach you in.
Little post.
Ooh,
There you are.
thank you. Cheers.
Not bad, huh?
It's delicious.
Only the best for you.
Yeah, Brandon, why don't I get you in my movie?
Oh,
I get like
that
clips
would
of
be
you
great.
doing stuff, you know?
No.
No, do something. You got some background.
Okay. If you insist,
Yeah,
I'll,
my
I'll
friend,
do
you
a
wouldn't
little
do me
Shakespeare.
wrong.
Wrong scene, but
Yeah, that's fine. Go.
to be or not to be,
That's good.
that is the
Well,
question.
keep doing that. I want to try different
Whether
angles
it's
on this.
Same angle, same angle.
Yeah, same angle. Stay exactly like you were.
And the vine suffer slings and arrows to outrageous fortune, for as by opposing
It's with the gloves on.
in
Go. Got to see if I know. Not just yet. Stay like this. For a minute.
really don't have much time. It's the darkness that's got you. Nobody really feels safe with their child. I love the niece. All right. Lovely. City could have done the curtains open, it's bright sunlight. Well, we can't have that if we can. They do it during the daytime. All right now, Phillip?
Yes.
Good. Oh, good. Better than you want. It's a museum piece now. We really should preserve it for posterity. Except it's such a good Christmas, I hate to break it sad. Out of this, David Kentley last drink. Should have been ginger ale, beer. I always thought about here.
Other character for him to be murdered too.
Yes, wasn't it? Good Americans usually die young on the battlefield. The Davids of this world merely occupy space, which is what made him the perfect victim for the perfect murder. course, he was a Harvard undergraduate. That might make it justifiable homicide.
Instead, we killed him. He's still here.
Oh, in less than 8 hours, he'll be resting gently but firmly at the bottom of a lake.
While he's here.
What are you doing?
Won't pop.
Better. It's more dangerous. Besides, the lock's too old. It won't work.
Wish it would. Wish we had it out of here. I wish it was somebody else.
The trifle late for that, don't you think? Who would you have preferred? Huh? Kenneth?
I don't know. I suppose anyone was as good, bad as any other. You perhaps. You frightened me. You always have from that very first day of prep school. Part of your charm, I suppose. I'm only joking, Brendan. I obviously can't take it as well as you, so I'm turning on you a little bit.
Well.
That's very. Can I have a drink now?
Sure. This is an occasion. It calls for champagne.
Champagne.
I put some in the ice bucket.
Why did you put it there, Brandon?
Just before David arrived.
You were certain it would come up, weren't you?
Yes. You know I never did anything unless I did it first. You know, I always wished for more artistic talent. Well, murder can be an art too. The power to kill can be just as satisfying as the power to create. Can you believe it? Done exactly as planned. Not a single infinitesimal thing has gone wrong. Perfect.
Yes.
And that is part of it. We have killed for the sake of danger, for the sake of killing. Not even champagne can equal us for the occasion.
I'll take it though.
You're not afraid anymore, are you, Phillip? We really can't have fear. Neither of us can. They talk about committing the perfect murder, but they would never do it. That's what makes us superior. Nobody commits a murder just for here. For the experiment of committing. Nobody except us. You're not afraid anymore, are you, Phillip?
No.
Not even afraid?
No. You just astound me, as always.
Ooh, well, that's even better. Today.
Brandon, how did you feel
When?
during it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really remember feeling much of anything. Until his body went limp and I knew it was over.
And then?
Then I felt tremendously exhilarated. How did you feel?
Oh, you don't think the party is a mistake, do you?
No. The party is the inspired finishing touch to our work. Oh, it's more. It's the signature of the artist. Not having it would be like
Painting the picture and not hanging it?
I wouldn't use that choice of words exactly.
Maybe it turned out to be two choice thanks to the party.
Oh, Ross, this party will be the most exciting ever given.
With these people?
Oh, they're a dull crew, all right. The Kentley could be duller if they tried. It didn't have to happen. After all, they are David's mother and father.
Doesn't make them any easier to talk to.
Don't worry, Janet will be buttering them up. Poor girl. She's banking everything I told you, David. Somehow, I don't think she's going to succeed. Do you?
No, somehow I don't.
She can switch back to Kenneth tonight. It's most considerate of us in light of recent events.
What?
Grab the other one.
What for?
Never mind, just grab it, bring it here.
What's it all about?
You'll see.
Grant, what the devil are you doing?
Making our work of art a masterpiece.
Oh, Brandon, you're going too far.
What do you mean? Well, I just thought it'd be nice to have supper in here. On this. Isn't it a good idea?
Well, I guess this way at least no one will try to open it.
I don't think you appreciate me, Phillip.
Beginning to, Brandon.
Come on, Mrs. Wilson will be back soon. Oh, do you remember to grab her key? Oh, I should have
I didn't forget. I have hers. I told her I lost mine.
Oh, good.
How are you gonna explain this for it?
I'm not.
We've got to have some excuse.
Well, we don't want to leave our guest of honor alone during supper.
We've got to have an excuse for the others.
All right. Really, much. We have a very simple excuse right here. Oh, Mr. Kentley's coming maybe to look at books, so what could be better than having them here? On this dining room table where the poor old man can give them. Considerate of us, isn't it? Most considerate. Hello? Of course. You keep working on the books.
Who is it?
Mrs. Wilson.
Brandon.
What the devil? Don't you have any more sense? What is it? What? What? What is it? Well, go on. Yank it out.
I can't.
Mrs. Wilson, here she yanked it out for a stupid display like that would be just as good as a confession. Now stack these and get a hold of yourself. And if you let me keep the light on, I would have seen.
All right, you're
We
perfect.
have to be, Phillip. We agree the only crime we could commit is making a mistake. Being weak is a mistake.
Because it's being human.
Because it's being ordinary. Now, I'm not going to let either of us do anything.
You owe me $24 plus tip for the taxi. If it wasn't for the traffic, I'd have been here a half hour ago.
Just as well. We didn't expect you back until now.
I was a proud source looking for that special pet and we like it. Right.
The books, we'll just leave them here on this dining room table.
Crazy idea, if you ask me. Well, I've got too much to do to discuss this further, but I still think it's peculiar.
What on earth is the matter?
Sure, she noticed.
Notice what?
The rope, Brandon. We gotta hide it.
Why?
Why?
Yes, why, Phillip? It's just a piece of rope, an ordinary household article. It belongs in the kitchen drawer. Mrs. Wilson?
Yeah,
There's champagne in the ice buckets.
we're giving them champagne.
We are.
Oh, so it's gonna be one of those kind of parties. I guess I better dial up a little. You know, We only serve champagne at Mr. Cadell's on very high occasions. In fact, he and I once shared a glass together on my birthday.
Well, tonight, Mrs. Wilson, you'll have the opportunity to renew that romance. Mr. Cadell is coming.
Mr. Cadell is terribly nice.
Rupert's coming?
I thought I told you.
No, he didn't.
I must say, I enjoy working for Mr. Cadell. Such a gentleman. Though some people think he's peculiar, but I think he's just lovely.
I thought you liked Rupert. I do.
Then what?
Rupert can, of all the people on this earth, Rupert Cadell is the one man like
He's
this.
got one man who's like this from an hour. The artistic one. That's what's exciting.
I'm glad it excites you. It frightens me.
Just too easy with the others, Phillip, and too dull. As for Rupert's, I started fighting with the joints.
Why didn't you? The more the merrier.
Because he hasn't the nerve. Intellectually, he could come along. He's brilliant. But he's a little too fastidious. Could have invented, could have admired, but he never could have acted. That's the real spirit. We have courage. Rupert doesn't.
Mr. Cadell got a bad leg in the war for his courage. And you've got your sleeve in the cellar. You've got your sleeve in the cellar. So here, are we ready?
As ready as we'll ever be.
Now, mind you, don't you be stuck behind that piano so that you don't get anything to eat and get too thin. And don't you let them gobble up all that good pate until you had some. Oh, I hope for success. Oh, gosh, come into the place. You know, there wouldn't be all this hustle and bustle if you'd let me keep my table.
Now the fun of it.
Kenneth, oh my goodness, welcome. Come in, come in.
Hello, Kenneth. Good to see you.
Me too. Been up to much lately?
Nothing to speak of. And you?
I was just trying to get ready for exams. I always have to start cramming before everyone else. I'm at first.
You are?
Why is it I'm always too late?
Perhaps because you're always on time. Mrs. Wilson, champagne?
Oh, this is someone's birthday too, is it?
Don't worry, Kenneth. It's really almost the opposite.
The opposite.
Philip's bidding the world a temporary farewell. All right, let's not mention that part.
Oh, where are you going?
Just at Randall's mother's place for a few weeks. Have to be locked up.
What? To make sure he practices 6 hours a day. Finally, wrangle the debut for
Town hall at that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I hope you're not good at that.
Thank you.
Oh, well, most decorative.
Think so?
Oh.
Hey,
Yes.
well, I feel pretty honored.
Why?
Well, it seems like a pretty small farewell party.
Oh, well, the party's also for Mr. Kentley. We're really killing two birds with one stone.
Oh, David's father?
Yes,
Oh, is David gonna be here?
of course.
Who else is coming?
No one you don't know, if that's what you're worried about. The Kentleys, Janet Walker.
Janet.
Yes. Well, I thought you'd be glad to see her.
Well, Brandon, Janet and I are all washed up, didn't you know?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't.
You knew, Phillip.
I heard big rumors, but I never pay attention to that sort of thing.
Wish you had.
Oh, why?
David and Janet are, man,
Oh, cheer up. No, I have the oddest feeling your chances with the lady are better than you think.
what do you mean?
Oh, Janet, Janet. Oh, Angel.
You smell dreamy. What is that?
Oh, that swill you gave me last Christmas.
Oh, I knew I had good taste.
You do, you look lovely.
I won't by the time it's all paid for. Was that funny? I never know if I'm being funny. Whenever I try to be, I lay the bomb of all time.
Oh, yeah.
What is this rumor I hear about you in town hall? I bet you're gonna play a foul trick on all of this and become horribly famous.
I believe you two have met.
Hello, Kenneth.
Hello, Jan.
Isn't that fascinating? I seem to have run down.
What would you say to some more champagne?
Hello, champagne. You see what I mean about trying to be funny? How have you been, Kenneth?
Fine, thanks. How's the new job?
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm writing that same dreary article on how to keep the body beautiful.
Oh, for whom this time?
An untidy little magazine called Allure. Thanks, John. Is this painting you?
It is, you like it?
No, what is it?
New Young American Privet.
Oh, I have a new young American sister. She's 3 and she's really primitive. You dirty dog.
Why?
I could really strangle you, Brandon.
What have I done this time?
At times, your sense of humor is a little too malicious, John.
What are you chattering about?
Why did you invite Kenneth?
Why not?
You know perfectly well why not. We called it quits ages ago and I'm practically engaged to his best friend.
David?
Yes. David, which makes everything just ginger peachy.
Well, I'm sorry, Janet, but it is a little difficult to keep up with your romances. You know, first me, then Kenneth, and now David? Why the switch from Kenneth to David anyway?
Obviously, I think he's nicer.
Well, he's certainly richer.
Oh, that's a new low even for you, chum. Well, how many years has it been since I said, oh, it's Nicole? And don't you tell me.
But I hear, Rupert's coming.
Oh, he was invited, but you never know with Rupert's.
Well, I hope he does. How is he?
Who is he?
Rupert Cadell is our housemaster at Somerville.
Oh, housemasters for you, 3 little dears.
4 little dears. He tried valiantly to teach David too.
Well, Rupert's a publisher now, isn't he?
If successful, maybe he could get me a job.
Rupert only publishes books he likes, usually philosophy.
Small print, big words, no sales.
Right? Well, Rupert's actually extremely radical. Do you know that he selects his books based on the assumption that he can not only read, but can actually think? Curious fellow, but I like him.
Well, you always did. Golly, those bull sessions you and Rupert used to get into at school. Yeah, Brandon used to stay up till all hours at the master's feet.
Brandon, someone's feet. Who is this word?
Well, I suppose Kenneth means Rupert's impatience with social convictions. For example, he thinks murder is a crime for most men, but
A privilege for the few.
yes.
Don't worry, Mrs. Wilson, I'll answer the door. Oh, Mr. Kentley, so glad you could come.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon. Mrs. Kentley isn't well, so I took the liberty of inviting my sister-in-law, Mrs. Atwater. Stay with us.
Well, delighted to have you. Delighted to come, dear boy. I've been in New York for 2 weeks. Alice has been ill almost the whole time, and Henry is forever cataloging his library.
Oh, no, Anita. Occasionally, I even read one of my books.
This is just my second party. I suppose that's only fair. May I take your thing?
I'm sorry, dear. Is he so ill? Oh, it's just a cold.
You know, colds can be very dangerous this time of the year. I hope she's staying in bed by the fruit juices.
She is. Thank you.
That'll do it.
I'm very glad that you invited me to come and see your books, Brandon.
Oh, no. I merely wanted to show off to someone who really knows first edition.
Wait, colds? Dangerous? In this heat? I do not understand that at all. Had one myself, this time 2 years ago, been back for 3 weeks. Doctors were about ready to pull the plug on me.
Oh, Mrs. Atwater, right this way. Oh, no. You made a mistake. This is Kenneth Law.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's all right, Anita. Yes. Kenneth is often mistaken for David, even by people who aren't nearsighted. Well, we haven't had the opportunity to observe the resemblance lately, my boy. You haven't been studying, have you?
Well, I've been trying to, sir.
Oh, the resemblance is only physical.
I believe you both know Mrs. Walker.
Julian, my dear, I just finished working at your horoscope right before we left. Oh, the stars are very kind. They indicate a marriage very soon to a tall, dark-haired young man with a very lovely father.
No, Anita. I told you that a week ago.
Well, suppose you did, but the stars confirm it.
Wonderful. Mrs. Atwater, may I present Mr. Phillip Morgan?
How do you do? Oh.
You hurt your hand.
It's nothing, just a little cut.
Oh, what happened?
Nothing, the glass was cracked and it broke, and, that's all. May I get you some champagne?
Oh, I should adore some. Daddy used to have class every morning at 11, but of course, he doesn't like it.
Well, Mr. Kentley, may I get you something?
Oh, I prefer a little scotch and a lot of water, if you don't mind. Is David here?
Well, I expected him to come with you.
No, he called and said that he'd meet us here.
Where did he call from?
Oh, our maid spoke to him. He was at the club studying for his examinations in tennis.
David doesn't have to study, he's like, right.
David does all right, very much so.
Thank you. That's Mrs. Kentley.
Oh, as usual, it's a cold this time. I hope David arrives soon. She wants him to call her.
Oh, well, David's her only child, Mr. Kentley.
Well, he's my only child too.
Let him grow up a little bit.
Maybe just a little bit.
Maybe we can phone call somewhere, I can call Mrs. Kentley and tell her that David's been detained.
Oh, no. You mustn't pamper.
Oh, well, you might have stopped by to see her.
Well, yes, make a call, please, in the bedroom.
Go see.
Oh, are you ready for another?
Oh, I will be.
What a
Ma'am, thank you.
young man he is. I wish David saw more of him.
Get it? There's too much air in your glass.
Oh, I'm fine, thanks.
Hey, Kenneth, would you mind taking this to Janet? Sure. Why? No, the reason is hers. Well, you might like to take it to her, but she's in the bedroom.
Yeah, then you'd like David to walk in.
No, that'd be too much of a shock.
You poor.
July 14th. Can you really tell my future from that?
No, I'm only an amateur astrologer.
I'm sure you're very good.
I do my best. I suppose you want to know if your concert will be a success.
Well, yes, I do.
All right, let me see now. You were born on the 14th of July, so you're Cancer. The crab. Oh, you're a moon child. You are very much influenced by the moon. May I see your hands? Oh, good fingers. Strong and artistic.
Oh, and what about the concert?
Oh, these hands? They will bring you great fame.
Well, I consider myself a very fortunate man today. I'm on hand for the grand opening. Of what? Of your collection, so to speak.
Oh, yes, of course.
Please.
Your wife's son.
Oh, well, David wasn't there.
No, he'll probably be here in a minute, though.
The privilege of committing it should be reserved for those few who are truly superior individuals.
The victims, inferior beings whose lives are unimportant anyway.
Obviously. Now, mind you, I don't hold with extremists who feel it should be open season for murder all year round. Nope. Personally, I would prefer to have cut a roast week or strangulation day. Yes, Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah, probably a symptom of approaching senility, but I must confess, I don't appreciate this morbid humor.
The humor was unintentional.
Now, you can't be serious about who's serious.
Of course he is.
You're both pulling my leg.
No, why would we?
Well, the notion that murder is an art form which superior beings should practice.
In season,
Now I know you're not serious.
but I am. I'm a very serious man.
Then who, may I ask, is to decide if a human being is inferior and therefore a suitable victim for murder?
Well,
The privileged few. Me.
Oh, and just who might they be?
Oh, myself, Phillip, or possibly Rupert.
sorry, Kenneth, you're out.
Gentlemen, I'm serious.
And so are we. The few are those men of such intellectual and cultural superiority that they are above the traditional moral concepts. Good and evil, right and wrong were invented for the average, ordinary man, the inferior man, because he needs them.
So you agree with Nietzsche and his theories of the Superman?
I do.
So did Hitler.
Ugh, Hitler was a paranoid savage. His Superman, all fascist Superman. I hang any with that. But first, I hang them for being stupid. I hang all incompetents and fools. There are far too many in the world.
Then perhaps you should hang me. I must be stupid because I don't know if you're all being serious or not. In any case, I'd rather not hear any more of this, forgive me, contempt for humanity and for the standards of a world that I believe is civilized.
Oh, civilized.
Yes.
Well, perhaps what is civilization is hypocrisy. Fortunately, Rupert has the intelligence.
Please, Brandon, we've had just about enough of this.
Phillip, where did you put those books you set aside for Mr. Kentley? I'd like to see them myself, if I may.
They're over on the Casone. You see them earlier?
Oh, it's quite all right, my boy.
It's a good collection, I think, the first editions, I mean.
Oh. Yes. Yes, I'd like to see them. May I make a call first? I'd like to talk to my wife. She may have some words for David.
Of course, it's this way.
Brandon.
Yes.
You were pushing your point rather hard. You aren't planning to do away with a few inferiors by any chance.
I'm a creature of whim. Who knows?
I think it's definitely a Scorpio.
Mrs. Atwater. Would you like to see some books?
Oh. I should love it. Do you know, as a girl, I used to read quite a bit.
Well, we all do strange things in our childhood. Oh, yeah. A little atmospheric music goes a long way.
My little devil is bringing us back together with sweet music.
Don't let it get you. He's always doing something like this.
Going into the other room,
See the books?
No, to let Brandon see me.
Do you care what he thinks?
I know what he thinks. He thinks that I threw you over because David has a bigger bank account.
Well, then why do you go?
Because I'm embarrassed at being here with you.
Oh,
Janet, I never thought I could be, did you?
honestly, no.
Well, I am, and I don't like it one bit. I think that you have the decency to be embarrassed yourself.
Right?
Because you threw me over, Chuck, remember? My friend Brandon loved to know that. What's the matter?
Nothing. I'm just thinking.
About what?
Female humanity.
Well, I'm also embarrassed because
Go
you
on.
and David used to be such good friends. And you're not anymore, and it's my fault. I'm such an idiot girl.
No, you're not.
Well, I'm certainly giving a good impression of one. Why must I be so smart with everyone but David?
Don't you kid with David too?
I relax with David now, thanks to you.
To me.
Yes, that grim Sunday at Harvard when you called it quits. David took me for a walk. My chin was about an inch from the ground. I just couldn't be the gay girl anymore. I just relaxed and I let everything pour out, all the real me stuff. Did you hear that phrase? I hear myself saying stuff like that. Where is David?
You know, I'm not very sophisticated.
Why?
Well, I never realized you were so. Man, his atmospheric these things. You are in love with David, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, I don't get it.
Get what?
Well, Brandon made a crack when I got here. He implied I'd still have a chance with you because David's out of the money.
Wait, before I got here, Brandon knew that you and I had broken up.
He even knew about you and David.
What? Kenneth, he pretended to be completely ignorant when I told him. He said that,
What's going on here?
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out once and for all. Brandon,
Yes,
may I see you for a moment?
certainly.
Why did he keep his hands off of people?
Yes, no, I'll be right back.
Brandon, what exactly are you up to?
Oh, well, up to getting you a coffee if you
Let's
like.
dispense with the charm. I wanna know why you had the gall to tell Kenneth that he didn't have to worry about me and David any longer.
Well, I don't think that's exactly what I
It is
said.
what you implied, and I wanna know why.
You know, Janice, some women are quite charming when they're angry. Unfortunately, you're not.
Hey, cut that out, Brandon.
Well, chivalry rears its ugly head.
I don't believe that David is coming.
Wait and
I
see.
don't have to. He is never this late. He's never late at all. I believe that you deliberately arranged it so that he wouldn't arrive.
Oh, well, how clever of me.
I should have known that you couldn't just give a party to Mr. Kentley. You just had to add something that would appeal to your warped sense of humor. I hope that you've enjoyed yourself, Brandon, because I haven't. It's really impossible.
You shouldn't let him upset you.
Something gone wrong, Brandon?
No. Janice has a talent for being troublesome at times. However, I suppose that I could. What do you mean something gone wrong?
You always plan your parties so well, it's odd to have anything go wrong. She seems to be missing David. As a matter of fact, I'm beginning to miss him myself.
Aren't we all?
Who deserts Mr. Cadell?
One for you and one for me, my love. The others don't seem to be in the mood for cake.
No, but they could all use a little cooling down. Hi, this is the Machuga party.
Yes.
Not that I'm surprised.
Why not?
Oh, I could have predicted it this morning. Both of them must have got up on the wrong side of the bed. They've been in a state all day.
Brandon says he's always in a state when he gives a party.
First time I've seen it. Usually he lets me put everything out myself, but look at the table. The chicken's hardly been touched.
What was so different today?
What wasn't? Mr. Brandon was in the maddest rush for me to clean up and get the table set. Lovely. But then when I was whisking out to do the shopping, he suddenly told me to take the whole afternoon for it. The whole afternoon. Did that mad rush this morning.
Did he say why?
Just a whim, I suppose. But when I came back, him and Mr. Phillip were going at it, hammer and tongs.
Oh, what about?
Now, Mr. Cadell, even if I did know, you know I wouldn't tell.
Well, I hope so.
Oh, I'm like, great.
Oh,
Look at this mess. You know, it's only just double the work for me. I mean, I have to clear all of the food off the table, then I have to take all the books off the table, then I have to put the books back in the chest, which is where they were in the first place.
why did you serve from here anyway?
Wasn't my idea. I had everything laid out on the table. It always was beautiful. But on this thing, I mean, there wasn't even half the room. We could think of putting flowers out there, let alone those jack-o'-lanterns. Now, I really personally mind you that
I think you've managed quite well.
managed it. You saw how bunched up the silverware and plates were. It just looked crazy.
Is she still harping on her table and how awkward it is to serve from this? It's much more convenient, you know, because this way, people don't have to go all the way to the dining room to get food and come all the way back to eat it, huh?
Seems they're doing that now with their coffee and dessert.
Mrs. Wilson, please serve the guests, don't lecture them.
We didn't get up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
I'm in quite an embarrassing position.
What do you mean?
I seem to be the only one having a good time.
You and Mrs. Atwater?
What's going on, Philip? You know, Philip, I get quite intrigued when people don't answer questions, and quite curious.
Did you ask me a question?
Yes, Philip, I asked you a question.
Well, what was it?
I asked you what is going on here.
Party.
Yes, but a rather peculiar party. What's it all about, Philip?
What all about? Stop playing crime and punishment, Rupert. If you want to know something, come out with it. Otherwise,
Now, temper. Don't stop.
like a drink.
Wait, I'll get it to it. What would you like? Scotch?
No, brandy.
You're very fond of that little tune, aren't you? You know, I wish I could have just come straight out with what I want to know, but unfortunately, I don't know anything. I merely suspect. And I said that.
I heard you.
All right?
Thank you. It's fine.
Cheers. Do you use this?
Sometimes.
I thought only beginners did, I must say.
Right, Rupert, I'll ask you, what do you suspect?
Oh, I've forgotten. Third speed, Philip.
I don't know why.
Brandon, no.
Does he?
Doesn't he?
Not that I know of.
Oh, come on.
I don't. Well, why don't you ask Brandon?
I have, but he's too busy maneuvering the other 2 points of the triangle. What for, Philip? Just what is Brandon trying to do with Janet and Kenneth? What's so funny?
Nothing.
Am I so far off track?
There's nothing going on at all, Rupert.
You're unusually allergic to the truth tonight.
Thanks.
Second time you haven't told me.
Thanks. When was the first?
When you said that you never strangled a chicken.
You're confused. Brandon dreamt that up to think of a very unfunny joke.
If you think back carefully, you'll realize that I know that's not true. About a year ago, I was up at the farm, remember? One morning, I saw you display your handiwork. You're quite a good chicken strangler, if I recall.
Well, I read the story wasn't true. I didn't mean, I hadn't killed chicken.
That's what you said.
Well, I didn't think it was a suitable topic of conversation while you read it.
You could have said that.
All right, I didn't.
What was it like before?
Because I don't like to talk about,
Oh, certainly chicken.
I can't play with that thing.
I want you to have
Oh, it's extremely generous of
Oh,
you.
no. I know you appreciate them much more than I do, Mr. Kentley.
Very nice of you.
What's wrong?
You must come to dinner very well. I'll have David fix the day for us.
What's wrong out, Phillip? Don't you want Mr. Kentley to have the books?
No, I don't care if he has them. It's just,
Just what?
I think it's a fancy way of tying them up, that's all.
You called Alice a little while ago, didn't you, Henry?
Yes,
Did no word from David?
no,
Well, I don't think you really ought to worry. David's never had any trouble taking care of himself.
I know. But I just can't understand this though. You know, if he's ever been detained before, he would tell them. Isn't that so, Jen?
Yes, he's always been after me to be more punctual.
And well, he might.
So you wouldn't know me these days. I'm a new woman, punctual as a clock.
No, that's very unfeminine, my dear.
Perhaps, but I prefer manners, femininity.
Oh, Henry, you sound just like Dad. I remember once when David was staying
Take it
home.
easy. On to something.
I gotta have a drink, Fred. That's it. Keep your hand off of me. I don't like you telling me what to do ever again. Now, don't you ever again tell me what.
Your voice down.
I hope I didn't upset Phillip.
No. No, you didn't upset him. He's more than likely mixing his drinks.
You seem rather upset yourself.
Do I?
Yes. There's something upsetting the both of you a great deal. Something that
Excuse me, sir.
What?
There's a woman on the phone for Mrs. Atwater or Mr. Kentley.
That must be Anita. I'll talk to her, Henry.
Yeah, all right, that sounds just fine.
It's in the bedroom to the left down the hall.
Do you think David could be home, Mr. Henry?
I don't know. I hope so.
I hate to throw a damper, but if David was home, he'd be the one calling instead of Mrs. Kentley. Wouldn't you say so, Brandon?
I wouldn't know.
The David I remember was polite as well as very punctual.
He hasn't changed.
Of course, if he is not home, where could he be?
And don't ask me, I don't know.
Well, he could be any number of places, such as the Harvard Club, or Bradley's party, or perhaps he went to Jan's. Wow. Maybe he decided to pick her up after all.
I phoned my place after I spoke to Mrs. Kentley.
Then he wasn't there.
No, I left a message just in case.
We might have a better time figuring out where David is now if he knew where he was this afternoon. What do you think, Brandon?
I have the least idea where he was this afternoon.
Don't you think it would be helpful if we knew where he was?
I suppose so.
No, I know that he was at the club this afternoon to play tennis, and I know that he got there.
How do you know?
Well, someone phoned a message that David would meet us here.
You know who gave the message?
No,
Okay, obviously, David ran into somebody at the club and changed his plans. You weren't there by any chance this afternoon, were you, Kenneth?
No, but I wish I had been.
I don't suppose you and Phillip were there this afternoon, Brandon?
No, hardly. We had our hands full getting ready for the party.
Oh, I see. What there must be done this afternoon.
Oh, you know.
I see, Dad. So he didn't speak to David at all today.
No, why do you ask?
He might have phoned to say he'd be late or something.
No, neither Philip nor I have talked to David since we invited him to the party.
that's odd.
What do you mean?
No, I thought I heard David on the phone to Philip yesterday morning.
Yes, you did, I had forgotten.
What did he call about? He called about the party?
Yes, he brought wanted to make sure about the time, that's all.
Here, I'll help you with this.
Well, that's all right, Mr. Wilson. You can put the books back in the book.
I had no idea I was coming back in the morning.
Afraid you'll have to. Just let the books go for now.
All right.
Henry. Alice hasn't had a word from David and she's frantic.
Well, I better talk to her.
Hello? She began to cry so badly, Henry, I'm really worried.
Well, I must talk to her.
No, she's already called every place he could possibly be. And not once, but several times. And now she thinks he may have been in an accident. She wants you to call the police. The police?
But no, Anita, I don't think that's necessary. David is no longer a child. I'm quite sure that he is all right. Brandon, I better go home. My wife needs this isn't like David.
Of course. No, I completely understand.
May I go with you, Mr. Captain?
Yes, please, Jack. Thank you.
Let me get your things. Oh, Mr. Kentley, don't forget your books here.
Oh, yes. And I will call.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, I'll be glad.
I'm sure that you're going to turn up. Somehow.
This is hardly the time, but I'm very glad that we had that talk.
So am I. David will be too.
Good. Well,
Kenneth, why don't you come with us,
oh, I don't think,
please?
thanks.
This yours, Janet?
I'll carry it.
I'll get my jacket.
Oh, going with Janet?
Yes, we're all going together.
What did I predict? Good night, Mr. Kentley. You will call me as soon as you hear from David?
I will. Yes, and please say good night to Phillip.
Of course. I hope Mrs. Kentley feels better as well. Oh, Mrs. Atwater, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you for letting me come. I'm so sorry we have to leave. Good night.
Good night.
I'll get your hat, Mr. Cadell.
Careful of the stairs. Watch.
There you go. Oh, wait. That's not your hat. Oh.
Thank you.
Good night, Mr. Cadell.
Good night, Mrs. Wilson.
Oh. You're leaving too?
Yes, I must. Good night.
Oh. Okay, good night. Well, Mr. Kentley, may I help you with the book? Oh, good night. It was lovely. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, Phillip, this party deserves to go down in history. The party could not have gone more beautifully.
Yes, it could, without Rupert.
Really, it wasn't Phillip. Everything I wanted to say, those idiots. They gave the party the very touch I predicted.
Oh, that's the touch of what? Crying, snooping, or just plain pumping? Do you know how busy he was questioning me?
About what?
What difference? You were in there arranging that other little touch of yours.
What touch?
Tying up the books that way?
Oh, I thought that was brilliant. Didn't you like it?
No, I didn't like it one bit. When you get us caught, all these little touches.
Keep your voice down. Wilson is still here. You've been determined to get drunk all night, haven't you?
I am drunk.
You're just as childish as you were before you called me a liar.
You had no business telling that story.
Why did you lie anyway?
I had to. Did you ever bother for one moment to think of how someone else might feel?
I'm not sentimental, if that's what you mean.
It's not what I mean, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is that Mr. Brandon liked the party. Mr. Brandon gave the party. Mr. Brandon had a delightful evening. I had it right.
Hey, keep drinking that, you'll have a worse morning.
At least if I have a hangover, be all mine.
You know, Philip, we deserve a real holiday after it's all over. Where would you like to go? Of course, we should come back here for a few days first, otherwise it might go into.
Praying that I'd wake up and find we hadn't done it yet.
Why?
Scared to death, Brandon. Think we're going to get caught.
There's not a chance. Well, there was earlier, but there's not anymore. I mean, we're practically.
Mrs. Wilson, you still here?
Yes. I'll leave my key back if I can come in and clean in the morning. That is if the two of you are still going up to the farm tonight.
We're driving up, all right.
All right, well, you have a good time, okay? And remember, I want you back in A1 tip-top shape. You don't look good, either one of you. Of course, I'd use for a little rest myself. But you have a good time. Come back in good shape. I'm off. Oh, have a good time. Don't forget to write. And mind your P's and Q's.
Where are you going?
In the garage.
Hello? Yes, this is Mr. Brandon Shaw. Could you bring my car around, please? Yes, right away. Thank you.
Better draw the curtains.
That. Brandon, who's that?
Probably the garage man with my keys going through.
There hasn't been enough time.
They get here. Maybe Mrs. Wilson forgot something. Answer it, Phillip.
Brandon. Brandon, couldn't we pretend we're not home?
With all these lights on, answer the buzzer.
Who is it? Brandon. Brandon, it's Rupert. Wants to come up. Says he forgot a cigarette case.
Okay, let him up.
No, he's lying. He's on.
Get back to that buzzer.
I won't.
Get back to that buzzer.
Brandon, I can't.
have to.
No, he knows. He
Shut up. Hello? Yes. Yeah, no, he's just a little tired. No, that's fine. I'm sure we'll find it in no time. All right, come on. Right. Right. Rupert's on his way up, and you've got to pull yourself together. Got it? Phillip, you hear me? Listen. Listen. Okay. Have another drink if you must. But get a hold of yourself. All right? He will be out of here in 5 minutes. I don't know how much, if anything, Rupert knows, but what I do know is that he will be out of here in 5 minutes. Got it? Now look! I'm not going to get caught because you or anyone else. No one is going to stop me now.
Sorry to bother you, Brandon.
Father, come on in.
I knew you were leaving tonight, and I didn't want to be left without my cigarette case. Hello, Phillip.
Hello?
I didn't mean to alarm you
You
before.
didn't alarm him.
Oh, I thought
Just
perhaps
a little
I-
antisocial tonight. Any idea where you might have left it?
No, none at all. May I have one for the road?
Of course. A short one.
No. I prefer a long. If you don't mind. Phillip, will you fix Rupert a drink? Now, let me see, last I remember having the case, I was over there. Yes, that's right, I was just going to help Mrs. Wilson open the chest when you came over, but then what? I think wonder where it could be. Oh, well, here it is, right where I left it. Gentlemen, I beg your pardon, I'm very sorry, well, may I have that drink anyway?
Of course.
You really don't mind?
No. Why should we?
Well, you might be. What? Tired? You sure it's all right?
Said you could have it.
Thank you.
Don't mind Philip, I'm afraid he's had a few too many.
Well, why not? After all, it was a party. Well, it's very pleasant to sit here with a good drink and good company. I'm glad. Please, don't let me get in the way. What? I know you have things to do, such as packing, last minute odds and ends. You are driving to Connecticut tonight, aren't you?
Oh, yes, but we're all packed.
Oh, I see. Already. All except one guest who must be gotten rid of. Well, I'll be off. As soon as I finish my drink.
Don't need to hurry.
Thank you. I would like to stay for a bit. Perhaps even see you off. I always hate to leave a party. Especially when the evening has been so unusually stimulating or strange like this evening.
What do you mean strange?
Did I say strange, Brandon?
Sometimes you choose words for sound rather than meaning.
Oh. I don't know exactly what I meant. Unless I was talking about David.
What was strange about David?
He's not showing up. You don't think anything really happened to David, do you?
What could have?
He could have been run over or held up.
In broad daylight.
That's right. I forgot. Yes. It must have been broad daylight when it happened.
When what?
When whatever did happen to David happened. That was nothing, probably. So, where is David?
What's your theory?
Fine. I was considering Janet's for the moment.
Oh? Well, I didn't know she had one.
Yes, you did. I couldn't help but overhear Janet. She thinks you kidnapped David or did something to prevent him from coming.
I'm not interested in Janet's Pratt, Rupert, but you always interest me. So what do you think I kidnapped David?
It's the sort of mischief that would have appealed to you in prep school. For the experience, the excitement, the danger.
It would be a little more difficult to pull off now, wouldn't it?
You find a way.
Ah. I mean, suppose you were I. How would you get David out of the way?
You're much better at this sort of thing than I am.
What would you do if you were I?
Well, if I wanted to get rid of David, I suppose I would invite him for a drink at the club or some quiet bar somewhere. Or better still, I'd invite him here. That way, no one would see us together.
That's good. No witnesses. Then what?
Well, let me think. The right time, David would arrive. I'd greet him, tell him how fine he's looking and so forth. Probably take his coat. Then I would bring him in here, make small talk to put him at ease. Then he would sit down.
Yes.
I would keep things very pleasant, you understand. Phillip would probably play the piano. Now, as I recall, David was quite strong. He'd have to be knocked out. So I'd very quietly move behind the sofa, and then I would hit him with something. His body would fall over to the floor.
Then where would put?
Let me see. I think I would get Phillip to help me carry the body out of the room, down the back stairs, and together we would put him in the car.
You'd be seen.
What?
You said it yourself. If anything happened, it must have happened in broad daylight.
That's right. I would have to store the body someplace until dark.
Yes, but where?
Well,
Cat and mouse, cat and mouse. Hey, the cat, which is the mouse.
That no.
Don't tell me what to do.
Quiet, Phillip.
No, don't you tell me what to do. Don't you ever again tell me what to do. Come.
Yeah, it really isn't any of my business. Not his keeper. But with Phillip in this condition, it doesn't really make sense for you to stay around with Phillip. Unless you came back to find something other than your cigarette case.
you mean, for example, to find if you really got rid of David?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Didn't think for a moment. Kidnap David. I'll admit, Janet put the notion in my head, but I would not have even considered it. It weren't that you seemed to be carrying the fear of discovery in your sash. What? It's a knife, isn't it? That sees my suspicions more than anything else. And I'm going to tell you the truth. It actually scares me a little. Of this.
You can relax,
Rupert.
See? I have to take it up to the country.
There's been a lot of burglaries and mother's a bit on edge, you know? Finish, Phillip.
All right.
You hear what Rupert said about the knife? He thought I was gonna.
It's the way one can pyramid simple facts into wild fantasies, isn't it?
We all do, don't we, Phillip?
Yeah.
Particularly after a few drinks.
How is you? I think I'll be running along.
You know, Phillip, you're gonna feel much better once we get out in the open air. There shouldn't be much traffic and we ought to make good time.
Yes, the lovely nights. We'll be driving up in beautiful weather. I almost wish I was going with you. It might be rather exciting. Driving at night always is, but driving with you and Phillip tonight would have the additional element of suspense. You're right, Phillip. Those books were tied rather clumsily.
He's got it.
Phillip, take it easy.
He knows.
All right, it's okay. I'll take care of it. Hey, I'll take care of it.
No, you won't. It's just as soon kill you as kill him sooner. This is what you wanted, isn't it? Somebody else to know, somebody else to see how brilliant you are, just like in school. Well, I told him you shouldn't bring him, but you had to have him here. Now, we're done for. Shut up. Oh, no, I hate you both. You drove me to it. Go.
Captain, drunk.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. No, he really didn't mean to kill us. You know, he doesn't really know what he's doing any more than he knows what he's saying. You know, I didn't want to tell anybody this. Keep coming out all in.
Brandon, can you step over there, please?
Oh, you know, surely you don't take these nightmare ideas seriously.
Brandon, I'm tired. And in a way, I'm frightened too. I don't want to fence anymore.
Well, what are you gonna do?
I don't want to. But I have to look inside that chest.
You're crazy.
I hope so. I hope to God that I'm crazy.
This has nothing to do with you.
I've got to.
Don't.
Look inside his chest, Brandon.
All right. All right, go ahead and look. And I hope you like what you see. You don't understand. Yes, you remember the conversation we had with Mr. Kentley right here. Do you remember about superior beings and inferior beings and good and evil and right and wrong? Do you remember? Yes, I remember. That's all we've done. Oh, that's all Phillip and I have done. He and I have lived what you and I have talked. So you see, Rupert, you'll understand because you have to.
Till this moment, this world and the people in it have been dark and incomprehensible to me. I've tried to clear my way with logic and superior intellect. But you throw my words right back in my face, Brandon. And you were right too. If nothing else, a man should stand by his words. But you've given my words a meaning that I never dreamed of. You try to twist them into a cold logical excuse for your ugly murder. But they were never that, Brandon, and you can't make them that. There must have been something deep inside you to let you do this thing. But there's always been something deep inside me that would never let me do it. It would never let me be a part of it now.
What do you mean?
I mean that tonight, you've made me ashamed of every concept I've ever had of superior or inferior beings. But I thank you for that shame. Because now I know we are each of us a separate human being with the right to live and work and think as individuals, but with an obligation to the society we live in. But what right did you dare say that there is a superior view to which you belong? But what right did you dare decide that boy in there who's inferior and therefore could be killed? Did you think you were God, Brandon? Is that what you thought when you choked the life out of him? Is that what you thought when you served food from his grave? What you thought, what you are. I know what you've done. Murder. Strangled. Fellow human being who could live and love as you never could. Never will again.
What are you doing?
It's what society's gonna do. I don't know what that will be. I can guess. That can help. Gonna die, Brandon. Oh. You're going to die.
Coming. All over. Glad.